Hi everyone, welcome to a video on showing you how to remove the sprocket and clutch on a chainsaw. This model of chainsaw is a Stihl MS200. We'll also show you how to refit a new one. That's the clutch, this section in here, and this is the sprocket that goes around here. Now, to take this off, first of all, what we need to do, we need a 13mm socket. This is difficult to, the problem in not being able to take this off is it's basically connected to the piston. So as you turn this, the piston turns up and down. So what we need to do somehow is jam the piston, stop it from moving so that we can then undo this. The way to do that, we take the spark plug out. I've loosened this already just to save a little bit of time. Now, you need to get something into the cylinder. You probably won't be able to see this from here, but with this off, if you pull the pull cord, you can just about see the piston going up and down in the cylinder. Now as you pull it, you want to try and catch it so it's at its uppermost point, so there. So the pistons at the top of the cylinder, so you got as much cavity in the cylinder as possible. And then you get something quite soft, maybe like a soft cloth. Some people use it like a plastic tool. I prefer to use something a bit softer because I think it's a bit kinder to the inside of the cylinder. You just get the tip of it in there and you kind of try and work as much of it in, and sometimes it's easy to just twist it in. Because what you want to try and do is, there you go, you want to try and stop the piston being able to make it a full cycle, so when it comes to a certain point it gets stuck and it can't go any further, and that's when you can undo this. The thread on this is a reverse thread, so where you'd normally turn it anti-clockwise to undo, in this case we turn it clockwise. So just get it on and there we go. It doesn't take an awful lot. You just undo that. And the little roller bearings which come with it come off as well. When you're replacing this, it is a good idea to replace everything at the same time, including the bearing. Now, just to compare an old sprocket with a new one to show the difference. Now this is a new sprocket. Let's just show you a bit better. There's not, you can see on the edges here, there's not much wear at all. And normally when you start seeing indentations on here, like when it goes about half a mil at most, where the drive links start sort of like cutting into this, that's when it's time to change it. This is an old one that's been left far too long really, and look, there's at least a millimeter going on, 1.5 millimeters of wear. So like I said, this was left far too long, but it's been changed now. As far as the clutch itself goes, you should be able to see this is the new one and this is the old one. The difference between them is where these little springs hook onto the two different holes, it almost looks like they're sunken in, Now the reason for that is because you also get the inside of the spring wearing away, but you also get the inside of the hole wearing away. So it's a combination of the both. It almost looks like it's melted into the side, if that makes any sense at all, as opposed to if we show you that one, say. See a difference there at all? Hopefully you can. Oops. Now, back to here. To get it back on, we'll get the needle bearings on. A little drop of oil on there. Now obviously if you've got a 6-tooth sprocket, then you'd order a 6-tooth sprocket replacement. You put the sprocket on first, and the important thing is, when you put this on, you need to make sure, this is the worm gear assembly which helps oil the chainsaw. We do have another video which will show you how to replace that as part of the oiling mechanism. Basically you'll see there's indentations on here which correspond to the teeth on the sprocket. You don't want to just put this on like that, where you see it's not sat properly. It needs to be turned so it locates in like that, because as this turns it also helps oil the chain. So once you do that, then the clutch goes on, and it's easy to remember which way to have this around. One side is near enough flat and one side is raised, because you need the raised section to be able to put a socket on. That's the easiest way to remember. Now don't forget this is a reverse thread, so you go the opposite way, that way. You don't need to worry about tightening it too much. Don't forget we still have the there. That's fine, because as the chainsaw revs, because it goes that way, it'll naturally tighten it anyway. And once we've done that, we then, what we'll do is we'll loosen the piston up again, and then we'll pull this out of the chamber there. And all we need to do now is just to get the spark plug back in. Tighten that up. Get this cover on, and then just replace it as normal. Put your chain bar on chain and a clutch cover on. Okay, I hope that video was of use to you. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe and check out my other videos. Thank you very much.